So, how did a game like Among Us fall so fast? Like, how? Let's jump right into it. But, like every other video I make, of course, we have to go into the peak. First of all, Among Us released in June 2018. And of course, I wasn't playing it because in 2018, what you was doing? I know what you was doing. You was playing a nice sort of game of Fortnite. So there was no way Among Us could blow up like in 2018 because like Fortnite was like the most biggest game at the time. But Among Us would still have its peak, what I like to say, just in 2 years forward. So in 2020, we should all know this time. We all know when the came out and everybody was staying home. So everybody was basically watching their favorite streamer. You know, we all know that everybody's chilling on the computer. And of course, Fall Guys had their peak, but we're not gonna talk about Fall Guys. But there was another game that had its chance when people was getting tired of Fall Guys. This game was so legendary. It made words like sus and sussy barker, but we're not gonna get into those words. Maybe later. So because of a couple streamers, did some videos on it, and streamers, what I mean is Dante the Yam and Cutie Pie, and that's just scratching the top. But there was so many people playing it, and there wasn't really that much to it. There were basically one imposters, and they could go up to 3, and you would have the other people, like a crew, trying to basically do all these tasks. And basically, if you think that somebody, is sus, you just, hopefully everybody follow you and vote that person out. And if that's not the imposter, then that's tough. But of course, Among Us wasn't the first game that had this system. But it was the first game that had the system that blew up. And this system wasn't even special. You just had a killer and you just had to do, stuff like that. Basically tasks. And that's pretty normal. That's games like Dead by Daylight and Jason, basically. Like Friday the 13th. There's not a difference. There's a killer, aka the imposter, and there's crew. And that's really it. And those two games is very popular, but it didn't reach the peak as Among Us. And Among Us blew right out of the ocean. Among Us even had 60 million players at one time. You guys know there's 60 million players. And that's crazy for a indie title game. Again, indie games are somehow blowing up for this past 2 years or so. It just blew out. And because of that blow right up, again, I will play it. Even your kids start jumping onto it. And there's simply people start playing it. Like there's no explaining to do. But like every other game, it has to die. So how did Among Us die anyways? Well, let's jump into the downfall. But before we go into the downfall, right? How could Among Us die? It's not like there was another game that beat it, right? Well, you might say Splitgate, but remember now, this is early 2020 now. This is around, let's say May. Have this mindset now. Splitgate did not start to blow up until 2021. Okay? Make sure that we all have this clear. You got that? Nice. So Splitgate was not the problem why Among Us died, because Splitgate did not release until the next year afterwards, so, oh well, not release, sorry, didn't blow up the next year afterwards. So how could it beat Among Us, right? So there could be two reasons why Among Us could have died. Let's jump into the first one. One, the format just got boring. Now, remember this, guys, there is no difference with Among Us. You became the poster, and yeah, and you just cut the crew. And it's the same thing. There's the same killing animations, and it's still the same. It's just like Dead by Daylight on Friday the 13th. There's nothing changed. So like, it would make sense why people would stop playing the game, because it's the same exact format. It's only like, for an example, like PUBG. You shoot, get loot, and win. That's literally it, from my knowledge. So basically, any game could die if you just have the same exact format. If you're not gonna change the format time to time, do not expect your game to die. But this happened, but still, Minecraft, it has the same format, but how it didn't die? You obviously craft, build, kill the Ender Dragon, boom. But it's an open world game. There's more things to do. You could travel more places, make more base, and there's so many things which you could imagine what to do. You're not stuck into one thing. You can do anything you want. If you want to make a whole dream crew, you can. Like, you could download mods to make a horror or all that other stuff, right? Example, like GTA 5. There's not just a story. There's all kind of things to do inside the game. And that's how, for example, those two games end up making it. But games like Fall Guys, Splitgate, and Among Us, the format don't change. It's the same thing. Nothing really changed. It's just the same thing. So that could be one way how Among Us died. The second way how Among Us could die. Simply, it got old. Like, there was nothing to it. And I'm gonna be honest, that don't even make no sense to make it be two categories. Because the second category is pretty simple to the first category. The game has no updates. What I mean by no updates, there's no changes to the game. They're not like you can have your own design on whatever you call them things. I'm just gonna call them jelly bean because they kind of shape like a jelly bean in a way. So there's basically no customization. Yeah, you could add some your hat out of your pet, and and maybe change your color. But besides that, that's it. There's no customization on how Among Us could get boring and just fall. And the game is just pretty bland. There ain't no updates, and that's the reason why the game is falling so bad. Like, look at these Steam charts. That's how bad the game has been falling. But again, if you ask me, it's gonna be the same way like Splitgate. The creators, to be honest, they barely used to hit 100 visitors. So I guess they really wouldn't care. They do care, but it really wouldn't disturb them because at least they get at least 8 to 3,000 people playing. So yeah, that's the downfall of Among Us. It's a shame that there's really nothing else to go in it. But Among Us is a pretty simple game, and it have a pretty simple downfall. So yeah, man, if you guys like these downfall videos, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. I really would appreciate it. And see you guys in the next downfall. Peace out.